watching Chopping It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, welcome to the Perry White Show today. How y'all doing? No, I was chopping it over. He's like, what?
This might as well be your show. That's what you want anyway.
The chopping it over with Coach Roger Cador, the man, the myth, the legend. He's right here. My guy, Roger Cador. I'm Perry White. My man, Garrett Edgerton on the board. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
I couldn't hear you, G. They couldn't hear you. What you said,
Good morning.
There it is. That's the voice of G. You never get to see him, but he's in the shadows making sure everything works well, all right? So if the sound go out, I'm giving y'all who to blame, all right? It's blame G, all right? Now, Coach, what's up?
You?
Okay, how was your weekend?
Good, and yours?
It was really good, Coach. It was
That's good.
Entertaining, man. One of the many reasons why I love Louisiana because of the sporting aspect of Louisiana, and this week, Southern, everybody, I'm typically around Southern football, traveling and going wherever they're at, but they had a bye week, and I think the football gods in that aspect said, you know what, this one is for you, Perry. They took Southern off this weekend, and they gave me LSU, Arkansas. Couldn't have fell at a better weekend, Coach.
Baton Rouge.
In Baton Rouge, right? I always have a dilemma every year of when this game normally falls because it's been all over the place. But this year fell on a perfect time, so I had an all-day experience to go out around.
And you
Tiger
ate
State.
a lot.
Not as much as one would think, right? Probably not as much as I would if I go to a Southern tailgate. I'm a little bit standoffish when it comes to food, especially in, as I would say, unfamiliar territory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not so many people that look like us, right?
If I was there, you would have eaten a lot.
Now, I did get to a tailgate that did feed me, and listen, they had a spread. You know what? You ever heard somebody say a spread?
Yes.
Oh, listen, they had it all over, man. They had whatever you wanted, full bar, whatever, man. They were so hospitable. They said, hey, man, you come on over. You can hang out with us. So I did that.
Good.
Yeah, good time.
Okay, good. Good weekend in baseball as we come to an end, too.
Talk about it. What's going on over in baseball?
MLB, I mean, it's really – Gary and I was talking about it, and it really is – especially you got the Baltimore, Tampa Bay in the American League East, and then the three teams fighting in the West with Texas, Houston, and Seattle. And obviously Atlanta has won, and the Dodgers have won, but there's still a fight for that third wild card spot with Miami, the Cubs, and Arizona. Mm-hmm. They're really fighting it out, which is good for baseball to have that many teams in the hunt this late in the season. I think it's really good for the game of baseball.
Yeah, let's go through the scores over the weekend, and let's start with yesterday. The Nationals and the Braves in Game 1. The Nationals getting it done 3-2. Royals and Astros. I like Kansas City Royals a little bit. They're an up-and-down team, but they got it done over the Astros 6-5. And Game 2 of that doubleheader between the Braves and the Nationals, the Braves getting it done. You're a former Brave guy yourself. I grew up loving the Braves. Hey, as long as they can get it done. 8-5 over the Nationals. Then the Blue Jays, man, getting it done over Tampa Bay. You was talking about that. Getting it done 9-5. The Diamondbacks. Been a while. You remember, what was it, Randy Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the great pitcher.
And Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling, yep, right there over there, Arizona Diamondbacks. Getting it done over G's Yankees. You got the Yankee hat on today. You see him?
Yeah, the Yankees are having a tough time. But you know what? The future looks good.
It's horrible being a Yankees fan. Yesterday was horrible being a Yankees and a Saints fan. It was horrible.
I never heard anybody say it was horrible being a Yankees fan, but I guess so. Diamondbacks getting it done 7-1. Then the White Sox and the Red Sox, the battle of the Sox. White Sox getting it done 3-2 in 6 innings. Orioles and the Guardians, right? Are you okay with the name change of the Guardians from the Indians?
If they're happy with it, I'm happy with it.
The Baltimore Orioles getting it done 5-1. The Marlins 6-1 over the Brewers. Pirates falls short 2 runs to the Cincinnati Reds 4-2. The Twins, big win, 9-3 over the Los Angeles Angels. And then, that's the Anaheim. What is it?
Anaheim.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little different, huh? I don't know which way to do it. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Okay, sounds very, very, very political, right? Then you had the Rangers, 9-8 over the Mariners. A real hard-fought game right there, Coach. Keep it going. The Padres, 12-2, man. When they say when the bats get to going, that's one of those against St. Louis. And then the Phillies getting done over the Mets, 5-2, and then they rounded out the final in 10 innings. The Dodgers 3, the Giants 2.
Oh, it was a good day. Good year for baseball. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great game set for today. You got the Astros and the Mariners play today, 8:40. Then a little bit later as well, actually at noon today, you have the Diamondbacks and the Yankees. G, you going to be watching that game?
I'm done for the year.
Oh, you checked out?
We're eliminated from the playoffs. I'm done right now.
I never even thought I'd hear that from the Yankees fans. 78-77 is the record that they have overall. And then as well as games continues on today, the Rangers versus the Angels, and then the Giants and the Padres. Coach, what you looking forward to today? Any one of those matchups intrigue you any?
Well, the Houston-Seattle is obviously it have implications on a really big implication on both of those teams, you know. Seattle sort of need to win because they're in the third spot. Houston need to win to stay alive and hope that they can win 2 or 3 from them and go and win 2 or 3 from Arizona. And Texas and Seattle beat each other so they can creep back in. That's the only way they can get back in the lead.
Yeah, you look at the American League East right now. Baltimore Orioles on top of that league, 97-59 in their record. American League Central. Guess what? The Minnesota Twins right there, 83-73 on the season. Go over to the West, the Texans right there at the top, with Houston right there below them, right there behind the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers at the top of the American League West at 87-68. Then you jump over to the National League, the Braves of Atlanta. 100 wins on the season, Coach.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. 156 as they're on the top of the National League East. Then you go to the National League Central. It is the Milwaukee Brewers. They're at 88-68 with the Cubs right there behind them. And then the National League West, the Dodgers, 4 games out from 100 wins on the season. They're 96-59. And you're talking about those games, and then you look at the wild card. You're talking about Tampa Bay, Toronto, Houston, Seattle, all right there stacked up in the American League. And then in the National League, you got Philadelphia, you got Arizona, Chicago, Miami, all right there with Cincinnati, San Diego, and San Francisco. So there's a hunt. There's a lot going on right now in this time of year as you start to see that pool of teams dwindle down.
And that's what's good for baseball. The other thing that we haven't talked about and probably have missed the attention of people, the Braves have a chance to break the home run record that Minnesota set with 307 home runs. I think the Braves are in a good situation if they're able to play their regular players toward the end. They could hit more than 307 home runs. They were at 390-something at the beginning of the weekend.
Let me ask you that, because when you talk about breaking down a team that can do something monumental like that, is that just sheer talent on the team, or is that in athleticism, or is that contributed to your hitting coach?
Oh, no, it's the players. I mean, we can give hitting coaches all the credit they want. If you got to have someone who can swing the bat.
No doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's the players. So the players, they have really good young players, and that's one of the reasons that they tied them up for so many years, because they like what they have, and they're young, and they're athletic, and they're good people. They play the game the right way.
Yeah, you're talking about Matt Olson for the Atlanta Braves, 53 home runs so far on the season.
The most in the Atlanta Brave history, more than Hammer and Hank, who never hit 50 home runs. Andrews Jones hit in 2005, I think he hit 51.
Andrew Jones used to knock him out. Andre Galarragas used to knock him out. Remember
the
Andre?
Big Cat. You remember the Big Cat? Oh, my goodness.
Brian Jordan, another guy that could hit really good, back in the day. Man, those were the guys. Chipper Jones was another guy that I used to like. But, yeah, Andre Jones, Andrew Jones, and Andre Galarragas. Those were my guys, man.
Well, Eddie Matthews hit 500-some home run. He played some with Hank. He came from Milwaukee, played third base. I got to know Eddie before he passed. So, the Braves had a really good tradition of a lot of good players that could swing the bat. You know, when they were signing black players in the 50s, Atlanta Braves were one of the teams that had a lot of African American players. So along with the Giants.
And Atlanta, that's a black city.
Yeah. Well, they were in Milwaukee at the time.
Okay, Milwaukee, yeah.
Yeah, they were in Milwaukee. And, you know, it's ironic when the picking was plentiful, there wasn't any demand hardly. Now the picking is less, and there's a high demand for African-American players. It's amazing how this thing works, right?
You know, let me ask you this. You're talking about this home run of the Braves on pace to be able to do something monumental. For you, with your own two eyes, have played with a lot of guys from college to the pros, who is the single best hitter? Because you was a great hitter. You led the SWAC in batting average. And I know you're not going to say you, but for you, who was the single greatest just hitter, just pure hitter that you've seen with your own two eyes that you had an opportunity to play with?
In college?
College or pros?
Well, Danny Goodwin, obviously. I played 2 years with him. He was really a really talented hitter.
Just a really good pure swing, power swing.
And there was a guy before him named Hank Baker, Pete Fisher. Those guys were older, all great hitters. I mean, Pete Fisher was a left-handed hitter. I played with at Southern. Just a tremendous, could swing the bat, powerful. You know, I mean, those are the kind of guys that sticks out in my mind that were great hitters.
And have you ever played with anybody who can literally put the ball anywhere that he wanted to?
And I sort of feel bad because I didn't name anybody I played with the Braves.
That's why I was like, that shows you the type of talent Southern had.
Yeah, and that's exactly. It goes to show you I named 3 people from Southern, and I hadn't named anybody I played with the Braves. It was just hard. You know, and Dale Murphy was my roommate.
Okay.
But he wasn't a great hitter. That those guys were, you got me? And but he was a good player. He ended up hitting 398 home runs or 400 and some home runs somewhere. So he hit a lot of home runs. So, but there was one guy named Larry Wizarton, a youngster came up after me with the Braves from St. Louis, great left-hand hitter, could swing the bat pretty good, but didn't have the discipline. And that's why he played in the big league for a little bit, but should have been a long-term player because he really had the kind of stuff, short stroke, ball came off his bat really good.
And I got to ask you too, because you led the SWAC in batting average. So what was so great about what you were able to do? Could you see the ball well, or did you just have a feel for anywhere within that strike zone? Like, what was it about you that just made when you had that bat in your hand, that ball was probably going somewhere?
You know, I really don't know. You know, because my career was marred with the fact that I had to play basketball and didn't get the reps. No telling what I could have done. Had I had the opportunity to get the rep, I had to leave the basketball court and go out and play baseball without any practice. Now, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that's really what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, the day the season was over with basketball, I'm sprinting out to the baseball field. And the coach sticks me in there and he said, "You got to go."
So you feel you got more reps with baseball than you did with basketball?
I don't know about that. All I'm trying to tell you is that I didn't get any reps.
You was just a naturally talented guy.
He just threw me in there.
Yeah.
It's just like you get some wood and throw on the fire.
Which sport made you the most nervous before a game?
Oh, my goodness. I'm sure baseball did.
Yeah.
Because I can't even think back then and remember, was I nervous? Once I had put it together with basketball, it became easier. But I was nervous because in baseball, the coach made me nervous. The coach was demanding stuff from me that's not realistic. even back then.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't realistic, what he was demanding of me, and that you come out there without any practice and you got to be ready. That's not realistic. And for some reason, somehow, I was able to do just enough.
He saw the potential in you.
He did say that as a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He saw something in me no one ever have seen in me.
Give me his voice. How did he sound if he said it to you? How did he sound?
Cador. People drive Volkswagen, but you're a Cadillac driver. You can drive the Cadillac. And I'm a freshman. I'm scared. I can't even drive, let alone.
Have you ever even been in a Cadillac at that point?
Probably not. All I'm thinking is that I'm trying to put my foot on the ground, my feet on the ground, and please, you're telling me this and that, and you're demanding.
Mm-hmm.
He demanded. But I think his demands made me a better person and a better player because he demanded a lot. And I was trying to talk with one of my nephews this weekend, and he was telling me something about his son and this and that, and I'm saying, man, you all are making too much of nothing. You know, parents today want the road to be smooth for their kids without the kids having to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is really a terrible thing.
It is.
It's terrible.
It teaches. It does not teach failure.
It doesn't teach failure. They want success.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't want the coach to say anything to the players. That ain't realistic.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to get a kid to do better than what he's doing, you're not going to say, little Johnny, I love you, in most cases. You're going to have to say something that may be a little harsh.
Can I say it?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I'll have no problem saying it, okay?
And I said, this is one of the reasons I'm glad I'm not coaching anymore.
Yeah.
Because you got to, when you're competing, it's war-type tactics.
That's it.
When you're competing, it's not a nice thing.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's athletic event competition is very difficult.
You said the key word, competition. Me versus you. I'm not here to be your friend right now. We'll shake after, right? I'll shake your hand out if it's cool enough.
If it's
right?
cool enough.
But I'll shake your hand, but if not, I'm trying to win. That's what I thought that was the name of the game. But now it's participation. Hey, just thank you for showing up. There's no first place. Garrett, you get a trophy. Perry, you get a trophy. Now, Garrett and I can get in the Hall of Fame easy now, right? I'm just joking, but because but they make the world seem like it's just easy to get into things. It's just, oh, well, I saw you do it.
And my son is this and my son is that.
Yeah.
And the coach is wrong. And I said, man, coaches get fired if they don't win. Why wouldn't the coach try to play his best player? Something be wrong with that coach. He needs to be fired.
That sounds like something. That sounds like a familiar situation that I know right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know exactly what he's talking
trying
about.
to win. That person is trying to win. He may just have, not doing what you want.
Sometimes coaches can get in their own way. I'm sure you've seen that plenty of times.
I did it my own way. I did it my way.
You did it your way. At least it was successful, right? 29 SWAC championships you played for. So that says a lot about doing it your way. You knew how to get
it was 26. I made a mistake.
26?
26. That's still a lot.
Yeah, 26.
We were in there having a chance.
You've been in championships my whole life.
I didn't know anything else. I didn't know anything.
You've been in championships my whole life, Coach. All right,
Don't you think that's pressure?
Yeah. If you go to a championship 10 times, it doesn't matter if it's in a row or what, everybody now expects nothing less than the championship. There's no middle of the pack. There's no, everybody at that point, because you have set the bar so high, you have just, it's almost seemed like it's unattainable, but that's why you got to continue to work hard and continue to refresh yourself and go out and get the talent, because if you're going to set the bar high, you got to meet that expectation if you're going to be able to put it there.
Listen, it can be somebody who can come and do better than I did. There's a catch.
Yeah, what is it?
You got to work on it. You're going to have to work to do it. It ain't going to fall in your lap by doing the 8-5 type of deal.
Has the SWAC ever did anything to say, have you played for the most SWAC championships?
Me and Coach Brady at Jackson State are pretty close because we were playing for him literally every year. But the catching point is he retired in 2001. Okay? And so I kept going. So, but he started before me, maybe in 78. So he started about 7 years before me. So he would be the next closest thing to what I was able to do.
Next time you talk to your friends over at the SWAC office, you get that stat. I would like to see in terms of most championships played in or played for. I think that would be pretty cool to see where you rank up and how close is the next coach after y'all two. How far of a divide or of a difference would that be? I'm
going to tell you, that was a young guy by the name of Marvell Melendez who coached at Bethune-Cookman before he left there and came to Alabama State.
Oh, yeah. I remember him.
Now, he won like 9-10 championships in a row. Of course, he was the only game in town, literally at the time. But he had it going over there. And when he came to the SWAC, he and I talking, I said, big guy, it's a little different over here. I said, it won't be quite as easy. He said, that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. And he was here about 8 years, and he only won one championship. So it tells you how difficult it is in this league. Because you have multiple teams. You have Jackson, you got Alabama State, you got FAMU now, you got Bethune-Cookman, you got to have Southern, you got Texas Southern and Grambling. You have a lot of teams that you have to beat to get in that championship.
You got to be accountable for them.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to be accountable right here by taking a break. So let's do that. Let's pay some bills, and we'll be back more chopping it up with Coach Cador.
Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time. Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient, they're always one step ahead, rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
BRAC implemented the Imagine Your Park strategic plan nearly 20 years ago. The results transformed the park system in East Baton Rouge Parish. There are 12 new community parks, 6 dog parks, Liberty Lagoon Water Park, skateboard parks, fishing ponds, a new conservation area in Central, improved playgrounds, and a growing trail system. It's really a lot to keep track of.
So we decided to give you an insider's peek into some of these amazing new community assets through the eyes of the folks who know them best, BRAC's community partners.
My name is Nathaniel Klung, and I am Paddle BR. What I often say I am is chief doer of stuff. The two things that everyone wanted were paddling and trails, and in our case, pedal trails. And so we did a lot of work to make it so that people could get out on the bayou, but without access points, no one can use them. Rec has been amazing at building paddle launch sites so that we can get out on the water and enjoy everything that Baton Rouge has to offer. Not only are they listening to everything that Imagine Your Parks and Imagine Your Parks 2 that we asked for being done, which I don't know about you, but that makes me happy every day of the week.
No wonder BRAC is the recipient of the National Gold Medal by the National Recreation and Parks Association. There really is something about East Baton Rouge and national champions. BRAC, #1 and still getting better.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
With over 60 years of combined experience, Kathy Sherburne and Anna Barnett bring a wealth of knowledge and excitement to the framing industry. Keeping strong to the Louisiana culture, Acadian Frame and Art has numerous local artists and sports team memorabilia for their customers to choose from. Whether you're creating a gallery-like setting in your office or simply looking for some fun art for your kids' playroom, Acadian Frame and Art is your one-stop picture framing spot. Call 225-927-6129 or go to www.acadianframe.com.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador, Against All Odds. Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status. An inspiring story of tenacity, faith, and hope. Against All Odds chronicles Coach Cador's determination to reach higher, to want more, and to dig deeper to find the courage to chase his dreams. Against All Odds. Get yours today by Cador and Cador Publishing. You are now watching Choppin' It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, we're back with more Chopping It Up with Coach Cador. I'm Perry White. He's Roger Cador. My man Garrett Edgerton right there. And we're looking up on the screen, taking a look at all of these games. And, Coach, I'm talking about from 86 all the way into 2013. You only had one losing season from 1986 to 2013, and it came in 1989. Scroll up there to 89 for me, G. Let's see what that was. Now, you said the 89. You went – let's go through it. In 86, you took over in August of 85. You went 21-24, 11-5.
August of 84.
84, excuse me. Then you go into 85, 21-24. You can still go 11-5 in the conference. First year, that's respectful. In 86, that's the year you're getting it off on the ground, truly. 22-26 with one. You remember who that one tie was?
Jackson. Yeah.
14-6 in conference play, SWAC West champs. In 87, you look like you got it rolling. 31-22, 20-4 SWAC West champs. SWAC champs going to the Division I regional, and this is when you go on and take on Big Bad Cal State Fulton, right?
In 87, yes.
20-4. Well, that was the year you put the SWAC on notice.
Well, that's my first year freshman playing. That's one of my recruiting class.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I was able to. My son was born in May of '85, and I remember bringing my mother-in-law to be home with my wife so I could go on the road and recruit.
Mm-hmm.
And recruiting, I did. I signed some really good players, and then we won a roll. You know, the '86 team, and then.
I see 88. That's
88.
my year.
Yeah,
28-21, 16-8. You were SWAC champs.
And we did not win the West. Grambling was that good, but we won the championship.
Who did you guys play in the regional in 88?
Texas, University of Texas.
The Longhorns.
And had them beat at. Oh, it was really a hell of a game down there.
Let me take Blue started calling some stuff, huh?
They call a few things.
That's typically how it go. All right, then we come out of the 80. 89 is the year I referred to at first. You went 17-24 overall, 13-11 in conference play that year, Coach.
Yeah, we lost everybody. They were all drafted.
Mm-hmm.
and I think I had 10 kids drafted. And
That's
it was back
amazing.
rebuilding. We had to go back and rebuild.
So between that 85 to 89, you win 2 SWAC championships, 2 SWAC West championships, and then you get 10 players drafted within 4 years. You see the success. Is this when it started to turn people's head about Roger Cador?
Well, I think we had started when I came in there, but unless you can have a mold of consistency, then you don't have nothing. So we said we need to be consistent. That's when we really, because of recruiting.
Yeah.
We put everything in place and we were able to recruit. And as you could see, it started paying off because we started winning more games.
Did the Cal State Fullerton game, once you won it, did the phone start to ring a lot more?
Not really.
People wanted to know who's Roger Cador, what's going on with Southern, who is Southern?
It happened. It just started happening in the 90s.
Because let's go to the 90s.
That's when because the consistency.
Coach, you won the SWAC West every damn year in the 90s.
Exactly.
In 1990, 26 and 17, 17 and 5 SWAC West champs. 1991, 31 and 12, 17 and 3 in conference SWAC West champs, SWAC champs. 1992, 31 and 12, 19 and 5 in conference play, SWAC West champs, SWAC champs. You got your first back-to-back right there. Second back-to-back. You went back-to-back in 87 and 88. So this is your second time going back-to-back. In 93, 94 and 14, 12 and 6 SWAC co-champs. Now, what happened there with a co-champ?
Well, rain and finals. We were playing in Natchez, Mississippi, and we had so much rain, and we couldn't get the games through, and we had finals going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the ADs and the commissioner decided we'll have, that won't be any more games. We'll just do co-champ, let the kids go home.
Who were you co-champs with in 93?
Jackson State.
How many times have we heard that in the studio today? All right, we move on to 94. You go 30, 14 and 1, 18 and 6 SWAC West champs. Who's that 1-2 that year?
I don't remember.
I thought it was going to be Jackson State, and obviously not. They play you tough every year. Then 95, 29 and 12, 21 and 3 SWAC West. What happened with going 21 and 3 and don't bring it home that year in 95? That's a hell of a record. I think that was your best record outside of 03.
Yeah, that was a situation where Rain again played, and they forced us to play 3 games in one day on championship.
What?
We won the first 2 and lost the last game in the 9th inning, the 3rd game.
And they took it all away from you.
Yeah, so
that's a hell of a
90.
conference record, 21 and 3, Coach.
Yeah, that was. And I never knew that. Now look. Brought back some memory.
SWAC West champs. 96, you go. Now, this is a great year. Now, you got to tell me about this year. 34 and 7 in 96, 18 and 2 in conference play, SWAC West champs, SWAC champs, and then you go on to play for an NCAA divisional regional
Austin
game.
P in Tennessee.
That's who you took on?
Yeah, we won 1 out of the 3 games, so
What was special about that year, 18 and 2 in conference play?
I can't remember.
All right, let's keep it going. Now,
I just knew that the kids played hard.
Now, this is a part of you went 4-peat. You won 4 in a row from 96 to 99. In 97, you go 32 and 17, 21 and 3. Pretty damn good year in conference. SWAC West champs, SWAC champs, divisional region. Who did you play in 97 in the region? Austin P in 96. Who was in 97?
We went to play a team in Missouri, Missouri State, something like that, Southwest Missouri State. I can't remember.
Pretty good ball club?
Pretty good team.
Yeah.
I had a really good team, and we weren't able to pull it off.
In 98, you go 31, 16, 22, and 4. SWAC West champ, SWAC champ, NCAA regional again. Who was it in 98, Coach? Where'd
University
you go?
of Santa Clara in Santa Clara, California. That was a great trip.
It's beautiful out there, isn't it?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And we played well, man. We played well. But, again, when you're on the road back in those days, it's tough.
Was it a bus trip or a plane ride?
Oh, no, it's plane ride.
Oh,
Santa
no.
Clara, California.
All right, in 99, you go 29 and 16, 23 and 7, SWAC West champs, SWAC champs. And this is the 4-peat, as the final year of the 4-peat NCAA region. Where'd you go in 99 at the turn of the century?
We went to LSU and we beat Monroe,
ULM.
ULM beat them and had LSU on the ropes in the next game. Oh, we played well in that. We had them on the rope until the 7th inning.
That 7th inning straight. That always listen.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you're playing this high-level competition. And it get late in the game is close.
Error, one place, completely
or a missed
change
call
it.
by the umpire. That's all it takes.
It never fails with blue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Then we come into the new century. Y2K in 2000. You go 30-16, 21-8, SWAC West champ.
And we didn't play for the championship that year.
That's the one.
And I told the coaches then, y'all better do well here because we coming back after y'all. And that's the one Ricky Weeks and Michael Woods and them Fred Lewis, Antoine Green, we got those guys. That's when we were really playing.
So were
that's
they
when
on,
we put it in another gear.
They wasn't on that 2000 team, huh?
No, we brought them in right after.
Well, you can definitely tell because in 01 you go 43-12, 28-4, SWAC West champs. What you told them? I'll be back, and you win the SWAC championship, and then go to NCAA divisional regional. Where'd you go in 01?
LSU or Tulane? I can't remember.
It was Tulane.
Okay.
What was memorable about that, taking the team down to Tulane and knowing that you had those guys?
Yeah, we were young, and we just didn't have the top flight pitchers. We had the offensive players, but we didn't have the top flight pitchers.
Well, next year you come back 40 wins and you increased it. 45-10, 27-3 in conference play. SWAC West champs, SWAC champs, NCAA region. Now you go back to back with these guys. Where'd you go that year?
LSU, and we played they played.
Made you
but
excited
LSU
as a coach?
was really good.
Yeah. And so were you excited as a coach watching your team play hard like that?
Yeah.
Now, then you come into 03, 44-7. This is your best record. 31-1, coach, in conference play. SWAC West champs, SWAC champs, NCAA divisional region. You go a three-peat. You've done a two-peat twice. You've done a four-peat, and now here's a three-peat. That's a lot of repeats, all right? And you win a HBCU national championship by blackcollegebaseball.com. Where'd you go in 03? Is that the Southern Miss?
Yeah, Southern Miss, but I want to say something about that one loss. A bad call in the outfield cost us that game at Grambling. Of all the places. But we had humiliated Grambling, so it rained, and the coach made sure we don't come back to the field the next day. Because he knew he couldn't beat us, so he said, hey, the game is rained out.
Would you say perhaps that 03 team was your best team?
Close. Yeah, we had a little more pitching. That's why we were good in 01 and 02. But, we were having a lot of kids drafted too, by the way. I mean, that 04 team, 03 team was pretty doing good.
You go to 04, you go 26-14, 19-7, SWAC West champ. Coach, at this point, you won the SWAC West 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times from 1990 to 04. Now we go into 05, you go 29-18, 17-7, SWAC West co-champs, then you back on it again. You win a SWAC championship and an NCAA regional in 05. Where'd you go in 05?
LSU. I want to go back to that 90s. You talk about the West. I think we won the championship 8 or 9 times in the 90s.
You won it throughout the whole 90s, Coach.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That lets you know how dominant we were. We were dominant, and and it goes to show you it wasn't because we had more finance than the other schools. They had probably more than we did. I had people who with their foot on my neck to keep us down. You got me? But they couldn't keep my players down. And I gave them the resources they needed to win. Positive reinforcement, placing demand on them, telling them they were special, that they could be good.
Now, we go to 06, you go 26-20, 17-8. Now, this is the first time in a long time I don't see a SWAC West championship up there. In 07, you go 26-18, 15-9, no SWAC West. What's happening in 06 and 07 with the program?
Yeah. Remember, we coming off the glory years.
Yeah.
I lost. That was the last of my coaching staff I had. I lost them all going to pro baseball, and it's hard. You keep losing. Where do you keep finding people who understand the philosophy, can do the things you need done. So that's where I began to have to deal with people outside of the program to some extent. And that's where we began to lose our gusto, so to speak.
You get to 2008. It seemed like you got that back a little bit. 28 and 18, 18 and 6. You back to your old ways, bringing home another SWAC West championship. What happened in that tournament in 08 that year?
I can't remember, Wade.
Okay, well, we'll go to 09 because you better remember that one. You go 30-17, then you go 17 and 6. Now, this was not one of your best conference records, right? But then you found a way to get it done. SWAC West champs, you get it done in the tournament and go to a regional. Seemed like your team got hot at the right time once you got into the SWAC tournament.
It did, and that's we won that SWAC championship. And, boy, we pitched a kid against LSU, and we went again in the 8th inning. We were leading, and they took over. And that's the year LSU won the national championship.
In 09.
And we had them. And Paul McNary has said to me, all of the games leading off in the games we played in the national championship in Omaha, Southern was the toughest game his team had.
I like to hear that. And then 2010, you go 24, 22 and 1, 16, 6 and 1. Is that one to Jackson State?
Probably. Well, I don't remember now. Yeah. This could be a little different.
Yeah.
Robert Pratty left in 01. And so we had to beat Jackson State we beat Valley in 09 for the championship.
It wasn't Jackson
Yeah, it
State.
wasn't Jackson State.
It was Perry's old stumping
UAPB
ground.
got that one? What?
What? Hold up. You said what?
They were 8-15 and 1.
Who? Prairie
UAPB.
In what year?
10.
And they won the West.
They got you with that one tie.
Oh.
Yeah, Texas Southern won the West.
Yeah, Texas Southern was pretty good.
It was 18 and 6.
Okay.
And then we get to 2011. You back to your ways again with those SWAC West championships. You go 29, 19, 16, and 8 SWAC West champ. 2012, 33 and 16, 17 and 7 SWAC West champs. What's going on in 2013? This kind of teetering here. 21 and 23, 14 and 10, but you still found a way to get a SWAC West divisional championship.
Listen, we're beginning to feel the crunch of losing the scholarship. It all came tumbling down on 14 when we gave them up.
Yeah.
And we did okay in 15, but it was just we were able to recruit academic kids because of the top scholarship. That was the kind of kids we were recruiting to have a squad because we had no scholarship.
How tough is that when you go from the full allotment to narrowly being able to have scholarships? What does that mean for a program for somebody out there who don't understand that?
Well, you're not going to win if you don't have scholarships.
Yeah.
That's why Prairie View suffered so many years in the athletic program because they had no scholarship. Kids aren't going to come to your university, I don't care what, if they can't get scholarship. And that's just the way it is. So,
scroll up a little bit. I want to do something with Coach right quick. Coach, I want to see your 03 team versus – I'm looking at maybe that 96 team or that 97 team. I want to see, matter of fact, I want to see that 03 team against that 97 team. Who you think could get that in that 97 versus 03?
Okay, let me say something. I want to go back. You see that 90, 91, 92, 93 team?
Uh-huh.
They were some of my better teams.
Really?
Yes. Better than 96, 97, 98, 99. They were better. Better personnels. It's just that, we had one guy through them 4 championship leading the way by the name of Keon Thompson. He was one of the great all-time hitters we had. You could strike him out 4 times, and when he gets in the game late, he made them pay. But my 91, 92, 93, those teams they had a whole slew of good players during that time.
Man, I'm looking at it, man.
Just like in the 86, 87, 88, I had a lot of good players. That was like series where I just had good players that, they played 3 years together, and we just had really good teams.
And that is a lot that you got going on there, Coach. That is a hell of a career, which is why I think – and you know one thing I got to point out that I really noticed? I see your conference records, but I see how many more wins you got in terms of your overall record, meaning you were going out getting non-conference victories, which I judge programs a lot by that. What was non-conference like for you over the scale of your career at Southern?
Well, we were playing the toughest of the tough because we didn't have money to go and beat Patsies. So we had to play LSU, Tulane, UL, Southeastern, McNeese, Northwestern. We were playing the best of the best that the state had, Nicholls State. All of those schools were really good programs.
Because sometimes I look at a schedule and you'll see the losses, then you get to conference. It's like, well, they got a good conference, but then when you see the wins overall are matching right what they getting in conference, and there's so many losses. But I love the fact that all of these victories that you were able to get out of conference really solidified to help build a program for you. And not only a program, a dynasty, because this is truly from 86 all the way to 03. All I see is SWAC West champs except in 89. In your rebuild year, but I love those non-conference victories that you were able to go get.
If you look at 203, 204, we won 27 SWAC games, but look, we won 45 games. 44, 31 in the SWAC. So I'm telling you, we were playing and beating people that was not SWAC opponents.
You're not playing Tougaloo College and Millsaps.
Never played them. We didn't have the money to do it. We stayed within the 2 or 3 hour bus drive.
The region.
Yeah.
All right, let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back and get ready to close this thing out. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be back more of Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador.
Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time. Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient, they're always one step ahead, rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
BRAC implemented the Imagine Your Park strategic plan nearly 20 years ago. The results transformed the park system in East Baton Rouge Parish. There are 12 new community parks, 6 dog parks, Liberty Lagoon Water Park, skateboard parks, fishing ponds, a new conservation area in Central, improved playgrounds, and a growing trail system. A lot to keep track of.
So we decided to give you into some of these amazing new community assets through the eyes of the folks who know them best, BRAC's community partners.
My name is Nathaniel Plum, and I am Paddle BR. What I often say I am is chief doer of the 2 things that everyone wanted were paddling and trails, and in our case, paddle trails. And so we did a lot of work to make it so that people could get out on the bayou. But without access points, no one can use them. BRAC has been amazing at building paddle launch sites so that we can get out on the water and enjoy everything that Baton Rouge has to offer. Not only are they listening to everything that Imagine Your Parks and Imagine Your Parks 2 that we asked for, but it's actually getting done, which I don't know about you, but that makes me happy.
No wonder Brack is the recipient of the National Gold Medal by the National Recreation and Parks Association. There really is something about East Baton Rouge and national champions. Brack, #1 and still getting better.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
With over 60 years of combined experience, Kathy Sherburne and Anna Barnett bring a wealth of knowledge and excitement to the framing industry. Keeping strong to the Louisiana culture, Acadian Frame and Art has numerous local artists and sports team memorabilia for their customers to choose from. Whether you're creating a gallery-like setting in your office or simply looking for some fun art for your kids' playroom, Acadian Frame and Art is your one-stop picture framing spot. Call 225-927-6129 or go to www.acadianframe.com.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador, Against All Odds. Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status. An inspiring story of tenacity, faith, and hope. Against All Odds chronicles Coach Cador's determination to reach higher, to want more, and to dig deeper to find the courage to chase his dreams. Against All Odds. Get yours today by Cador and Cador Publishing. You are now watching Choppin' It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, we're back with more Chopping It Up with Cador. Of course, I am Perry White. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the legend for sure. Roger Cador, my man on the board. He's a legend too. Garrett Edgerton. Good to be here with you fellas. We get ready to wrap it up, Coach. You know, looked at the college football landscape this weekend. Some pretty good games on. Arkansas, LSU, in which I was in attendance, came down to the last second. LSU kicks a field goal, win 34-31. Let me tell you, when they talk about the noise in Death Valley, it is real.
It's real.
It is real. It forced Arkansas with numerous false starts on offense. It really did affect the offense and slowed down some drives that they had moving in a positive direction. But to say how loud the decimals, it is real when you're in a stadium where people are up cheering and screaming at you, Coach.
Well, that's called home field advantage, too.
It was beautiful to be able to just be in the mix of, but it wasn't beautiful to see the Razorbacks lose that game, unfortunately, right?
But you were there.
I was there. Florida State, Clemson, been a tough game before. Clemson just seems to have fallen off a little bit. Overtime win for Florida State. They seem to be on the right track, ranked number 4 in the nation, winning 31-24. Oregon and Colorado. Coach Deion Sanders getting his first loss on the season. It was a humiliating big one, 42-6. The Oregon on the road. But what do you say about a coach who has excitement, the hype? It worked for the first 3 weeks, and then when he finally hit rock bottom in that week against a team like Oregon, you really hit it tough, 42-6.
Well, it happens. It's something that they're not where they're going to be.
Yeah.
You know, they won 3 games. Nobody anticipated that they would even be there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's created excitement. He's got a tough game this weekend coming against USC, so I expect him to have even more trouble because that defense is not very good.
Yeah.
And they hurt on the offensive line. So, he said, we're going to be better next year. He'll get better players. I truly believe he'll be going into a more difficult league conference, but he's going to be good for the game. He's good for college football. He's going to have haters because of who he is. But that's good. We need people who are different.
That's it. Growth of a program, and that's you got to start somewhere to build it. Utah and UCLA, number 11 versus 22. Utah in a hard-fought game, getting it done 14-7. This one I liked. I watched the highlights last night. Alabama, number 13 versus Ole Miss 15. Lane Kiffin, a former assistant under Nick Saban at Alabama. Alabama getting the victory 24-10. Does not seem like the big, bad Alabama of the yesteryears, but still, they find ways to get it done. How about Duke, right? The Blue Devils. In football, they're ranked. They beat UConn 41-7. Miami beats Temple 41-7. Tennessee beats UTSA 45-14. Washington State beat Oregon State 38-35. I think the big game that you watch it come down to the wire, Ohio State and Notre Dame. Ohio State on the 1 yard line gets it done 17-14.
I was into it, boy.
A lot of people were.
Notre Dame had a chance. Number 2, he missed the pick on the last drive. You know, you can't. Them chances come every once in a while, and they ended up marching back down the field and scoring on the last play.
There you go. You're correct,
and
Gary.
getting it done. The number 1 team in the nation, Big Bad Georgia, 49-21 over UAB. And then this week in SWAC play, guess what? The Jaguars, Southern, going up on the road to my neck of the woods, up to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So I'm looking forward to that. Going home this weekend, Coach.
Oh, you're going to eat some good catfish.
Catfish, turkey leg, and whatever else, and barbecue. I'm going to try to get what I can, right?
You think you can let me go with you?
Come on. I always tell you come on. I know you don't want to move around too much, but come on. But, you know, you got to fly.
That's not a trip I'm taking anymore. Unless I'm flying. You know, the last year I coached, I actually flew into Little Rock.
And met the team there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got an Uber and went to the hotel. But, I mean, that's the way it is. I'm not – driving is not my big forte anymore.
Yeah.
So – there it is.
State Fair Classic this weekend. Grambling and Prairie View should be a good one. Grambling has won their last 2. Prairie View seems to have found themselves as a football team. That is a game I will circle for you SWAC fans out there. If you're looking for one to circle, I'll circle that Grambling Prairie View game. And, of course, I'll be in Pine Bluff checking out UAPB Golden Lions versus the Jaguars and Southern, which should be a good one, I hope. I hope, right? Some games around the conference, around the country this weekend. You're going to have Duke versus Notre Dame. Who would have ever thought Duke and Notre Dame would be a top 25?
Game day will be in Duke for the first time for football.
Who would have ever thought it would be a top 25 matchup? Where are they at? Is it Raleigh-Durham? No?
It's in Durham.
Durham. Yeah, somewhere over there. Duke and Notre Dame, that should be a good one. And other than that, it's not really any big matchups. You got Friday night Utah versus Oregon State, but I'm not going to stay up late watching that game. You know how that goes when you're watching there. How about Kansas being ranked in the top 25, taking on Texas on the road? Both teams 4-0.
That ought to be good. Watch out for Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't take them lightly.
Don't take them lightly. I learned about them last year in the Liberty Bowl when they took on Arkansas, a game they went into countless overtimes, right? And then I think for everybody in South Louisiana, you'll be watching LSU on the road to Ole Miss. Both teams come in at 3-1. LSU number 13 in the nation. Ole Miss number 20. Should be a good one when you talk about SEC football, but top 25, those are your games around the conference this week, man. I'll be looking forward to watching the Colorado, of course, hosting USC. That'll be a 4-0 USC versus a 3-1. Colorado has fallen out of the top 25, but that game is going to be, guess what? Fox Sports say, we got that. Don't worry about it. We got the big noon show.
That's a good one.
It
should be around 12 o'clock.
That's it.
Yeah, those people going to be on TV for the rest of the year, no matter what.
11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 noon over on the East Coast, and it'll be very early for you West Coasters, right? Because I had to stay up almost 2 o'clock in the morning to watch that Colorado State game. So I enjoy when you give me something that early to get the day started. And I enjoy everybody that's out there tuning in to the show. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there underneath the video anytime you see any of our videos, and you know anybody, tell them, hey, go subscribe to the show, man. You got some good content, talk about some great things, and we love to have you in, and that way you get that notification every time we go live, and it drops down on the screen and say, hey, Coach is ready to chop it up. Tune in, and that's what we do each and every Monday if the Lord continues to bless us to show up each and every time, and we thank you guys for tuning in. Want to thank my man Garrett on the board. Thank Coach Cador, as always, the legend. I enjoy the conversations and the wisdom that he bestows on us, and thank you guys for always being supporters and listeners and everything else. And Coach, get us up out of here. That's how you get it out.